Hello, everybody. Welcome to our July edition of TUS Talks. It's a monthly podcast which takes a deep dive into the air travel scene here at Southern Arizona's major airport, Tucson International Airport. I'm Bill Buckmaster, two-state Hall of Fame broadcaster, joined by Austin Wright, communications officer for the Tucson Airport Authority. Tucson Airport Authority oversees the operations here at Tucson International Airport in Ryan Field, the area's private aviation facility. Hey, Austin, how are you?
Bill, always nice to see you. Two-state Hall of Famer. That's
Yes.
impressive.
Well, Arizona, and then I spent some time in Nevada and Las Vegas back in the 1970s.
Nevada and Arizona Hall of Famer.
Yeah, there you go. Nevada.
I don't have any Hall of Fame accolades behind my name, but give it time, right?
But you do have a lot of experience in this business. You worked with Southwest, pretty much running the Tucson, the TUS operation of Southwest. And now you're the communications officer here at a very large airport in the United States. Not as large as our neighbors to the north, but we can talk
Right.
a little bit about that later, about why it's still better to fly out of our hometown airport than Phoenix.
Absolutely. I mean, I love this city. I love this airport. I love how easy it is to fly out of TUS. Yeah. And when you believe in the product that you represent, it makes your job a lot of fun. So I feel like we have the opportunity to do things like this podcast and be all throughout the community, talking to business leaders, to talking to schools and everything in between. And when you get to speak a message that you really believe in, it's fun. Mm-hmm. And I love TUS, and things are good at our airport. And we were talking before we hit the record button just about how fuel prices have really thrown this industry into turmoil. But we've been fortunate to really escape cuts. Mm-hmm. Things are business as usual. We have an airport that's really thriving in this moment of uncertainty for the aviation industry, and we're proud of that.
Yeah, I think it's important to point out that when the differences began in the Middle East in February, fuel prices skyrocketed. Then we had what looked like some peace accords going down, and over the last 6 weeks or so, fuel prices have actually declined about 40%, but airfares have stayed steady and actually gone up. And some people may wonder, why would that be possible? Well, there were some cutbacks as far as capacity with the airlines, and as long as that demand stayed up there, it's simple economics, Austin.
100%. And AAA put out numbers for the 4th of July holiday that this was the busiest 4th of July holiday in terms of air travel in like 10 or 15 years. So the demand is there. The rising airfare costs are not dissuading the consumer from flying, which is good, but we obviously want an experience that is inclusive for everyone. So flying is within reach for our entire community. We take a lot of pride in being the airport for all of Southern Arizona. So we're always mindful of working with our airline partners to have schedules that meet their travel needs, but also have fares that are reasonable. And right now, I mean, there's a big misconception about the cost of flying out of TUS versus our neighbors to the north, Phoenix. Mm-hmm. And did you know, Bill, that in the top 200 markets traveled from TUS, 76 of those markets are actually cheaper to fly out of Tucson than Phoenix. And the overall fare difference, if you look at all those 200 markets, is only $42. Mm-hmm. So if cost is your top of mind as you're thinking about booking travel, check TUS first, because the cost usually is not that much different.
It is surprising to air travelers when they'll put in PHX for Phoenix to a destination, they'll put in TUS, when TUS will, as you've pointed out, accurately so, that it can come in very lower, in some cases substantially lower than Phoenix. And people may wonder, Austin, well, why is that possible? It doesn't do the airlines any good to fly empty seats from Tucson to their hub, taking American in Phoenix.
Yep. Yeah, and what's interesting is Phoenix is actually our most served nonstop destination at TUS right now. that has nonstop flights on American Airlines and Southwest Airlines. We have a lot of seat capacity to get you to Phoenix. And we've run promotions at the airport, most recently the spring season, where if you were willing to fly from Tucson to Phoenix, we gave you 7 days of parking for free in our economy uncovered lot to try to get the consumer to give it a try, because it's something like a 24-minute flight time from Tucson to Phoenix. We think the drive on the I-10 is just absolutely horrific, as we hear so often from the community.
Of course, and if there's an accident, you're in trouble.
You're going to miss your flight.
Yeah, and that could happen very easily.
Right. Yeah. So we believe that the consumer starting and ending at TUS, even if that means making a connection in Phoenix, it's good for our economy. We have almost an $11 billion economic impact for Southern Arizona. It's good for their stress-free travel experience. And we want to capture the traffic locally, because when we have people flying out of TUS, that's the only way we will continue to get new flights. If you drive today to go to Phoenix to take your flight, we will not have the data to support future routes. You must fly today out of TUS, even if it means making a one-stop connection, so we can continue to grow into the future.
And people wonder, why don't we have more non-stops, Austin? Well, there is an erosion of people. It could be as high as 3 out of 10 air travelers still are choosing Phoenix. Austin, if those, even half of that erosion chose Tucson, I would venture to say that we would have a much better position when we pitch new service.
Absolutely. And we've been laser focused here at TUS. We call it leakage, stopping leakage to Phoenix. And we've done a really good job on markets that we have existing nonstop flights. So markets like Los Angeles, Las Vegas, Orange County. Before, we had still a lot of leakage to Phoenix on those destinations. Something that helped us is really truly the demise of an airline like Spirit that was operating those flights for $19 out of Phoenix before. Now that doesn't exist anymore. So the consumer is able to use TUS. Los Angeles, for instance, we leak really virtually no traffic to Phoenix anymore. That's great. But we've got to achieve that same result on cities like New York City, whether you're going to JFK, Newark, LaGuardia, or if you're going to DC, DCA, for instance, although we have the perimeter rule, which I know we've talked about before, that prohibits a new nonstop without an amendment to the reauthorization bill, which we're several years away from. We need you to fly out of Tucson to go to those long haul markets. So if you're going to New York, if you're going to DC, if you're going to Miami, Orlando, Boston, Austin, Texas, those are places where we already have compelling, strong data. But if the consumer is willing to stick behind TUS in this moment with that one stop, there's a good chance we'll be able to land a flight to one of those cities very soon, because we're right on the border of having enough data to get that nonstop.
And you can get virtually anywhere in the world with one stop from Tucson. People don't realize that. You don't need to go to Phoenix to get a nonstop. If you go up to Phoenix, you're going to be able to fly to Europe. And now even Asia has opened up with a nonstop flight to Taiwan. So yeah,
it's so easy to get anywhere. I just gave a speech a couple weeks ago, and I said that you can get to every single continent but Antarctica with a single stop. I mean, there's this. I went to do a safari in South Africa, and it was so easy to get to Johannesburg by flying Tucson to Atlanta, Atlanta to Johannesburg,
nonstop flight, Tucson, Atlanta. A brief layover in Atlanta, and then before you know it, you're boarding your flight for Cape Town or Johannesburg on Delta. Yes, it's one of the longest flights in the world, but folks, it's one stop from Tucson, Arizona, TUS, to Cape Town or Johannesburg, and the next day you're going to be out on a game reserve.
Absolutely. I mean, let's not forget, too, about the great flights we have to LAX every single day, and LAX is really the gateway to the world. And Delta continues to innovate its hub there. I mean, they just started nonstop flights to Hong Kong. They can get you to Auckland. They can get you to Sydney. They can get you to Tokyo. They can get you to Seoul. They have flights to Paris and London. I mean, there are so many ways to start and end your journey at TUS. We put a billboard on the side of I-10 to capture the attention of those people traveling to Phoenix, and it says something very simple. It says, next time, check TUS first, because we can get you where you need to go.
That is the message, Austin. And you know, you mentioned LAX. I recently came back from a trip over to LAX. So many times, Tucsonans, our beach playground is always San Diego, and for my own personal travel blog that I'm doing, I wanted to do a piece about Think about LAX because of their quintessential beach towns over there, and your temperature is going to be virtually the same as San Diego, and you actually have a few more choices non-stop wise out of TUS than you do to San Diego. You've got American, Southwest, and Delta. You've got 3 carriers doing non-stops to LAX, subsequently keeping prices
Bingo.
reasonable.
Competition on the fares.
There you go.
I love LA. I always tell people,
I like the energy.
Yeah, I do too. And it's a great food culture. So yes, you can spend the day at the beach, but you can go to Koreatown and have the most amazing Korean barbecue. Or there's so much culture in Los Angeles, the home of Porto's Bakery, the amazing Cuban bakery that's in Burbank and Buena Park. I mean, there's just so much life and energy in Southern California. You're right, San Diego's amazing. We love the flights on Southwest to San Diego. But next time you're looking for a quick weekend away, why not fly to LAX and check out a concert at the Hollywood Bowl and spend a day at the beach? And it's a really, really, really fun weekend trip and so easy to get to with really cheap fares.
And your Uber drivers are going to be from all over the world. We had 2 from Armenia on this trip. And LA just has that energy, and there's people that come there where, the American dream's still alive in Los Angeles. But San Diego's great too. We'll be doing next month a trip over, usually an airport I have not flown into, which is kind of unusual. Austin Wright will be going Tucson, Phoenix on American, and then taking a short flight into Carlsbad, Southern California, 30 miles north of San Diego. And American has now opened that, what was previously just a runway, an airfield that was for private jets, but now there's commercial traffic going in. So I'll be curious to see how that goes. And so we want to go up to Laguna Beach. It gives us a little bit of a head start than going into San Diego.
Yeah, Carlsbad has some beautiful wildflower fields too. If you hit the right time of year in Carlsbad, you can see some really amazing sights. And that's, I mean, you're starting the narrative about getting the consumer to think about maybe taking a trip that's a little different than what they've done in the past.
Exactly. And sometimes when you look at air service into a relatively new destination like American, you're going to find some bargains because they need to get the word out and get capacity going. So in the remaining couple of minutes, here we are midsummer. Is the parking promotion still going on, Austin Wright?
It is, yeah. You can email marketing@flytucson.com and we'll share a promo code with you to get 7 days of free parking this summer. It's in the Economy Uncovered lot. We've seen a lot of use. Almost 4,000 people have used that code this summer, which tells us that that's a great way to try to inspire travel. We're doing a campaign called Summer Fun Starts at TUS. What does that mean? That means that we don't get a lot of inbound travel into Tucson in those hot summer months. So we're relying on the local community to really support the base of this airport, in June, July, and August when tourism really fades away. And the community has done just that. So we hope that a week of free parking incentivizes our local Southern Arizona community to take a vacation, to escape the hot summer months of the Southwest and go see the world. And we're delighted that 4,000 people have taken advantage of the free parking.
And we haven't even mentioned the Pacific Northwest. We'll save that, I guess, for next month. If you want to really get away, you can fly nonstop Tucson right into Seattle on Delta or Alaska. They're very competitive, very nice aircraft for the 3-hour flight up to the Northwest. And then it's a jumping off place over to Vancouver and to Western Canada.
The San Juan Islands are right there. It's beautiful.
Vancouver Island, one of my favorite places in the whole world.
Don't forget, too, that Alaska Airlines has announced that Portland, Oregon is year-round. It was a seasonal flight.
Very important point.
So you can also go to Portland no matter the time of year now, nonstop from TUS. And sometimes it is on an Embraer 175, which is a smaller regional jet. But I love it because there's 2 seats on each side. So if you're flying as a couple.
I love that aircraft.
Yeah, I think so. It's like a mini 737.
Yeah, we're going to be doing that nonstop round trip Tucson to Portland in the first week of November, then rent a car and sample the Olympic National Park in Washington
Beautiful.
State. Another little tip, if you fly Tucson into Portland, there is a a flight that will be even avoid the Seattle area, and you can fly then over to Vancouver, BC, now
Yep.
nonstop on Alaska.
Yep.
So lots to talk about in the airline industry. Austin Wright, Communications Officer for the Tucson International Airport and the Tucson Airport Authority. Thank you, Austin. We'll catch up with you and see how we're doing in August.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Bill.
Thanks.